all of us there in the NEC have our Smallernyana skeletons, and we don't want to take out all skeletons out, because there will be, or hell will break loose.
So when Bathabile Dlamini said that all of them, including herself, that all of them, they have Smallernyana skeletons, I don't think she understood the implication of what she was saying. That her words will eventually, over a period of time, they proved to be prophetic. And now today we can see, when the chickens have come home to roost, that all of them, they have Smallernyana skeletons. And one example is that of recent times, the Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Mcunu, that he's got this corrupt relationship with this character named Vusimuzi Matlala, who had a big contract with the Minister of Police to the tune of 360 million, and that the minister somehow is benefiting from that particular relationship, unsavory relationship with this character, Matlala, who's in jail at the moment. Let's check out this a video of Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi talking about that relationship, just as an example.
The analysis of the chats indicates that Vusimuzi Matlala is financially supporting the Minister of Police and Mr. Brown Mokhotsi's political endeavors. This is supported by the evidence of conversation and the proof of payments of guests for January 8 traveling cost and the Ghana dinner in Cape Town, which was done in 2025.
So who remembers this one? The 150 million contract within the Ministry of Health under the leadership of then Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize. This is the scandal that brought him down. That's brought actually his political career to a halt, as it were. Because these people who own this company called Digital Vibes, one of them, or one of the directors, they used to work in his office, as it were. They started this company, and all of a sudden they got this contract, to the tune of 150 million, especially during the time of COVID and all that. Remember, there was a lot of monies that were coming out during the times of COVID, and Digital Vibes was one of those. They got to benefit, as it were. And I think his son as well, if memory still serves me well, that he did receive, I think he got a Baki or something. He did somehow benefit from this company, Digital Vibes, as it were, while Zweli Mkhize was the minister in there. So, yeah, just to keep with the tune of Bathabile, I mean that everybody in the NEC of the ANC, they got Smallernyana skeletons. Let's check out this one, his explanation of why he doesn't think that he should be held accountable for this 150 million.
The investigators therefore concluded that the appointment of Digital Vibes was irregular, and as a result, a total of 150 million that was paid to Digital Vibes by Department of Health during the period of January 2020 to February 2021 was therefore irregular expenditure and should therefore be recorded in accordance with the stipulations of PFMA. I can also confirm that the process of consequence management, that is taking disciplinary action against all implicated individuals, is also underway. Finally, I can also confirm that the legal processes to recover the funds that we believe the department should not have paid has also commenced. Personally, I must express my sense of shock at the figures that have now been disclosed in the report as constituting irregular, fruitless, and wasteful expenditure. Let me categorically state that I have not personally benefited from this contract. Thank you.
Now enters General Bheki Cele, the former Minister of Police, the former Commissioner. So in his case, the same character that is associated with Minister Senzo Mchunu, the current Minister of Police, it turns out that this guy's got a long relationship with Bheki Cele as well when he was the Minister of Police. It turns out that this guy got this contract a week before Bheki Cele was stepping down as a Minister of Police. And it turns out that Bheki Cele stayed at this guy's penthouse on 2 occasions at least. And Bheki Cele today is trying to distance himself from this character, Matlala. But how do you distance yourself whilst you stayed at this guy's place? You know, clearly there is a relationship there, a friendship, as it were. Perhaps even a corrupt relationship. Who knows? how these things went down. But the things like skeletons are coming out, just to quote Bathabile Dlamini.
The focus on Bheki Cele stems from revelations that Matlala granted him access to a luxurious penthouse apartment in Pretoria. According to reports, in January 2025, Matlala arranged for Thier to use his penthouse located in the capital Nhlnhla, a high-end hotel in Pretoria. A message allegedly sent by Matlala to the hotel's corporate sales manager requested that staff grant Thier access to the penthouse whenever he was in Pretoria. 3 sources within law enforcement have verified the authenticity of this message. Thier has acknowledged staying at the penthouse but denies any business relationship with Matlala, claiming their acquaintance was recent. He admitted to staying at Matlala's penthouse twice, but would not elaborate on the nature of their relationship. These revelations have sparked outrage and calls for a thorough investigation into the nature of the relationship between Thier and Matlala, particularly in light of a lucrative police tender awarded to Matlala's company. News 24's investigation has revealed that Matlala's company, Medicare 24 Tshwane District, secured a 360 million rand police health services tender in June 2024, while Thier was still in office as minister. The tender was awarded just a week after Thier stepped down from his position.
Who still remembers this one? Tony Yengeni. Now, Tony Yengeni was a very senior member of the ANC, in that he was a chief whip in parliament for the ANC. And because of his proximity and because of his position and stature and all these things, he managed to have this unsavory and a corrupt relationship with this particular company, where he solicited a discount of a Mercedes-Benz M-Class. It was popularly known back in the day because of this incident. It was known as a Yengeni, in that he got a huge discount, and it was viewed as a corrupt relationship, as it were, and he eventually went to jail for it. And these people who offered him this, it was in a hope that he will be able to influence some contracts in their way and all this type of things. And he ended up going to jail and loses his position and all this type of things. I hope you guys still remember this. So Smallernyana skeletons as well, eh? Bathabile Dlamini has spoken.
Never want to shy away from controversy. ANC National Executive Committee member Tony Yengeni first made headlines when he was convicted of fraud in 2004 in a case linked to a corruption probe against then Deputy President Jacob Zuma. Yengeni was released on parole in 2007 after spending just 4 months of a 4-year term.
So I hope you guys still remember this one. Fikile Mbalula, the vacation that he took with his family to Dubai and spent to the tune of something like 680K, just under 700,000 rand for a vacation of 5 days in Dubai. Now, this one, Fikile Mbalula tried to deflect and say, the person that I borrowed the money from, he says he borrowed the money. In fact, he didn't borrow the money. He was given the money because he was a minister. This particular company that gave him the money, they were sponsoring, I think, SASCO, one of the Olympic bodies in South Africa, that are in charge of all the sporting codes in South Africa, as it were. So, and they gave him money, and obviously with the hope of them getting something. There is no way somebody can just give you that amount of money and they don't want anything. And Fikile Mbalula tried to deflect and say, no, I didn't have the money. I was selling my house. I was waiting for the sale of my house so I can take the money to go on a holiday. And who does that? And obviously this was just smokes and mirrors, as it were. This just shows that everyone in the NEC, to quote Bathabile Dlamini, that they have Smallernyana skeletons. Some, they are big, like this one, 700,000 rand just to go to Dubai.
Protector Mkhwanazi got it wrong. She found that Mbalula had violated the Executive Ethics Code when Sedgars Sport funded his family's holiday to Dubai in 2016. The former sports minister says he's taken the report on review. Mkhwanazi says there was a conflict of interest as Sedgars was doing business with SASCOC at the time. Our reporter Govan Whittles has been tracking that story from the newsroom and joins us now live. Govan, so Fikile Mbalula says the public protector got it wrong. Just where does he believe she blundered here?
First of all, Fikile Mbalula says that he doesn't consider Sedgars as having funded his family vacation to Dubai, and he thinks the fact that he asked for the money, the upwards of 300,000 Rand, which came from Yusuf Dokrat, the director of Sedgars, means that Sedgars didn't in fact fund his trip. So that's one of the bones of contention at the moment that the former minister has pointed out. But he also says that he doesn't understand, or he doesn't agree that he had breached the executive ethics code, or that there was a conflict of interest. In a statement released by Mbalula earlier today, he says, or he points out that SASCOC's procurement processes are autonomous, and he doesn't go as far, but he stops short of saying he considers it an insult to think that he could have influenced those procurement processes. And he says that even if a conflict were to arise in the future, it wouldn't have, because of this autonomous process. So Fikile Mbalula going to great lengths to explain that he had been friends with Yusuf Dokrat for 20 years when he had asked him for the money to pay for the trip for the family vacation to Dubai. But
Nomvula Mokonyane, you remember the one with Bosasa, where they threw her a big lavish party when she turned 40. This one, anyway, not a surprise here. You know, she goes to the Commission of Inquiry, it's on the Commission of Inquiry, and she lies, only to be found out when the other people came and gave testimony as to that, yeah, she did have the party there, she was paid by Bosasa and all of that. And Bosasa paid for everything, and they wanted nothing from the ANC, wanted nothing from Nomvula Mokonyane. Obviously, they want us to believe that. And we know that there is no such thing as a free lunch, as it were. So, and we know why Bosasa was able to secure so many contracts with the Department of Correctional Services. And Nomvula Mokonyane was also in the cabinet, a Zuma loyalist at some point in time. So let's check out this one.
At that place, at Victoria Guest House, there was never your birthday paid for by Bosasa.
No, there was never a birthday paid by Bosasa.
Former Bosasa COO Angelo Agrizzi had previously made that allegation at the inquiry. Then, enter. He's the owner of the establishment that allegedly hosted Mokonyane's birthday bash on 28 June. The date matches her publicly recorded birthday.
Ms. Mokonyane had her 40th in 2003, which was arranged by Mr. Agrizzi itself.
This creates a problem.
Ms. Mokonyane testified to the fact that no birthday party was ever had at that guest house, neither 40th nor 50th nor any other birthday party.
You are quite clear that this function was for Ms. Mokonyane's 40th birthday party. You are not mistaken about that.
I can definitely state that for the record, it was definitely.
Yes. And you say it was organized by Mr. Agrizzi.
Yeah.
And Bosasa paid.
Definitely, yeah.
There's a paper trail for the event totaling about 41,000 Rand.
Invoice to Bosasa is from Victoria Guest House to Bosasa.
Yes, it is.
And it's for attention of Mr. Agrizzi.
Yeah.
Bosasa also sponsored the booze.
And then there was also a garage full of liquor that had been obtained from this bottle store.
Yes. I would give a rough estimate between 30 to 40,000.
Just for the liquor?
Just for liquor, yeah.
So why would Agrizzi falsely implicate Mokonyane?
I think Mr. Agrizzi hates women.
In conclusion, I like to disagree with the former minister, Bathabile Dlamini, that all of them, they got Smallernyana skeletons within the ANC NEC. We have to agree that they have big skeletons. These people are corrupt to the core. These people, they do not care about South Africans. They are thinking about their families and lining up their pockets, making as much money as possible and all these things. And they do it at the expense of South Africans. And I think we as South Africans, we need to look ourselves in the mirror because we tolerated this nonsense for the last 30 odd years. And it will continue even today. And I think it's about time that we shake the tree. We hold these people accountable. We vote them out and all these things. And I think the attempt was made in 2024, whereby the ANC was brought down to low 40%, you know. And I think in the next election, 2029, I believe, we need to bury them, as it were. And yeah, man, we need leaders with high moral standards, leaders who are ethical, as it were. And by the way, these are not the only people who got this very unsavory relationship with the with criminals and all these things. There are many more. I could have done 5-10 videos about different people. In fact, I intend on doing some videos with regard to what these people have said, what they did in terms of the corrupt relationship that they have with business and others, as it were. So thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for those who have subscribed. If you haven't subscribed, please be so kind and do so. Thanks. We hope to see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.